At every step, large assemblies of Brahmanas loudly chant prayers and sing songs for his pleasure. Hearing their hymns, Lord Jagannath becomes very favorably disposed towards them. He is the ocean of mercy and the true friend of all the worlds. May that Jagannath Swami, along with his consort Lakshmi, who was born from the ocean of nectar, be the object of my vision. Lord Jagannath, whose eyes resemble full blown lotus petals, is the ornament of Lord Brahma's head. He resides on Nilachal hill with his lotus feet placed on the head of Anantadev. Overwhelmed by the mellows of love, he joyfully embraces Srimati Radharani's body, which is like a cool pond. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. I do not pray for a kingdom, nor for gold, rubies, or wealth. I do not ask for a beautiful wife as desired by all men. I simply pray that Jagannath Swami, whose glories Lord Shiva always sings, may the constant object of my vision. O Lord of the demigods, please quickly remove this useless, merciful existence, useless material existence I am undergoing. O Lord of the Yadus, please destroy this vast, shoreless ocean of sins. Alas, this is certain. Lord Jagannath bestows his lotus feet upon those who feel themselves fallen and have no shelter in this world but him. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. The self-restrained, virtuous soul who recites these 8 verses glorifying Lord Jagannath becomes cleansed of all sins and duly proceeds to Lord Vishnu's abode. Jagannath Swami ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Jayo Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavallabha, Jayo Girivaradhari, Jayo Girivaradhari. Jayo Yashodanandana, Jayo Braja Janaranjana, Jayo Braja Janaranjana. Jayo Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jayo कुंज बिहारी जयो जयो यमुना तीरवनचारी जयो कुंज बिहारी जयो राधा माधव जयो कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जयो गिरिवरधारी जयो गिरिवरधारी जयो यशोदानंदन जयो ब्रज जनरंजन जयो ब्रज जनरंजन जयो यमुना तीरवनचारी जयो कुंज बिहारी जयो राधा माधव जयो कुंज बिहारी जयो राधा माधव जयो कुंज बिहारी जयो राधा जयो राधा माधव जयो कुंज बिहारी जयो राधा जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र श्रीमद् चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्तवृंद की जय। नमाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा मैया की जय। जमुना मैया की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। ताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assemble devotees, all glories to assemble devotees, all glories to assemble devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 6, verse number 32. Vishovartant tasyorvor lokavrittikari vibho vaishyastad udbhavo vartam nrinam samavartayat visho vartanta tasyorvo lokavritti karir vibho vaishyastad udbhavo vartam nrinam samavartayat visho vartanta tasyorvo lokavritti karir vibho vaishyastad udbhavo vartam nrinam samavartayat Matajis. Word-to-word translation. Vishaha, means of living by production and distribution. Avartanta, generated. Tasya, his, the gigantic forms. Urvo, from the thighs. Lokavritti karihi, means of livelihood. Vibhoho, of the Lord. Vaishyaha, the mercantile community. Tat, there. Udbhavaha, orientation. Vartam, means of living. Nrinam, of all men. Yaha, one who. Samavartayat, executed. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The means of livelihood of all persons, namely production of the grains and their distribution to the praja, was generated from the thighs of the Lord's gigantic form. The mercantile men who take charge of such execution are called Vaishyas. Purport. Human society's means of living is clearly mentioned here as Visha or agriculture, and the business of distributing agricultural products, which involves transport, banking, etc. Industry is an artificial means of livelihood, and large-scale industry especially is the source of all the problems of society. In Bhagavad Gita also, the duties of the Vaishyas who are engaged in Visha are stated as cow production, agriculture and business. We have already discussed that the human being can safely depend on the cow and agricultural land for his livelihood. The exchange of produce by banking and transportation is a branch of this type of living. The Vaishyas are divided into many subsections. Some of them are called Kshetri or land owners. Some are called Krishana or land tillers. Some of them are called Tilavanik or grain raisers. Some are called Gandhavanik or merchant in spices. Some are called Suvarnavanik or merchants in gold and banking. The Brahmanas are the teachers and spiritual masters. The Kshatriyas protect the citizens from the hands of thieves and miscreants. And the Vaishyas are in charge of production and distribution. The Shudras, the unintelligent class of men, who cannot act independently in any of the above mentioned activities, are meant for serving the three higher classes for their livelihood. Formerly, the Brahmanas were given all the necessities of life by the Kshatriyas and the Vaishyas because they had no time to spend making a living. The Kshatriyas would collect taxes from the Vaishyas and Shudras, but the Brahmanas were exempt from paying income tax or land revenue. That system of human society was so nice that there was no political, social, or economic upheavals. The different castes or Varna classifications are therefore essential for maintaining a peaceful human society. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuronmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. Thank you for this opportunity to serve. Seeking blessings from all the devotees so that I can speak something for my own purification. So this is the third canto going on, 6th chapter, in which Maitreya Vidur Samvad is currently in discussion, in the process. And Maitreya Muni is describing Virata Rupa. So this description of Virata Rupa is for those who are not so much interested in, or they are not so much qualified for focusing on the personal form of the Lord. So indirectly, this Virata Rupa description makes one more conscious about the presence of some supreme being. And one becomes conscious of the magnanimity of the Lord. How the supreme being is so great that he is supporting all the ordinary living entities in their pursuit of material enjoyment. Although we have rebelled against the Lord, but still, the Lord is making all the arrangements so that we can live peacefully in this world. He comes himself, he sends his devotees, he takes so many different avatars. He comes as scriptures. He comes as great acharyas. So Tripurari Swami Maharaj, one of the Prabhupada disciples, he was telling that once B.R. Sridhar Maharaj, he was talking with B.R. Sridhar Maharaj, Saraswati Thakur's disciple. And Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada told B.R. Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj that I wanted to go to America. So Sridhar Maharaj is telling that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, he told few times that he wanted to go to America to preach. And he wanted to spend a decade in America. At that time, America was not a prominent country. England was more prominent. It was more influential. But somehow Saraswati Thakur, he had the vision that America would become the most prominent country in the world. And he had the desire to spend 10 years preaching in America. So Bhakti Rakshak Siddhar Maharaj, he was telling that through your Swami Maharaj, that means through your Prabhupada, Saraswati Thakur, he got 10 plus 2 years. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada spent around 14 years. So he said, 12 years, I consider Saraswati Thakur lived in him, that is Srila Prabhupada. So Supreme Lord, he sends his devotees, acharyas, so that we can get benefited. We can understand the purpose of this material universe. And the purpose of this material universe is Krishna wants everyone to become pure devotee. Because the path of bhakti is the most auspicious path. Nahi atanya shiva panta vishata samshrita viha vasudeve bhagavati bhakti yogo yato bhavet. There is no path which is more auspicious than this path of devotional service. It is most purifying. It is enlivening. As Bhagavatam describes, if Krishna Katha is not there, then everything else is like decorating the dead body. Yasya khilami vahabi sumangalai vacho vimishra gunakarma janmabhi prananti shumbhanti punanti vai jagat yastad virakta shavashobhanamati. So the descriptions of the Lord's name, form, pastimes, they are all purifying. Habi means sins. Yasya akhila habi. All the sins, they are destroyed. Amiva means sins, habi means get destroyed. Yasya khilamiva habi sumangalai, auspiciousness is created when we hear the words spoken by the devotees, the words of Krishna's pastimes. But still, there will be many who will not come to the path of bhakti. Just like one time, Srila Prabhupada was talking with one person and he says, Swamiji, you are telling that we follow this path of bhakti and go back home, back to Godhead. What if everyone goes back to spiritual world? This world will become vacant. So Prabhupada said, don't worry, some foolish people like you will always be there, who will never take to Krishna consciousness. But Krishna doesn't give up on them also. He doesn't reject such rebellious souls. For them, he has created this material universe and he has created Varnashram system. Those who are not interested in the direct path of devotional service, for them, as in this chapter it is described in this section, the 4 Varnas and Ashramas are created so that indirectly they can come to the process of pure devotional service ultimately. As Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, this system of human society was so nice that there were no political, social and economic upheavals. So when the path of Varnashram system is maintained properly, everybody follows the rules and regulations. They live life according to their propensities and there is no upheaval in the society. And then Prabhupada says, the different castes or Varna classifications are therefore essential for maintaining a peaceful human society. So to maintain a peaceful human society, this is very, very essential. In the West, people may say that, well, there is no caste system there. But still there are different classes of people present everywhere. There are some people who are managers, there are some people who are thinkers, planning, some people who are expert in finances, some people who are engaged in menial work. So this system is there everywhere. And in the course of struggling for achieving perfection, this system is very, very essential. So Varnashram system was meant for cooperation. It was not meant for exploitation. Just like Srila Prabhupada was giving a talk once and he was describing this 4 Varnas and Ashramas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And somebody in the audience, he got up and he said, "So Swamiji, you are first class and we are fourth class. You are sitting on the Vyasasana. You are on the raised seat." Prabhupada was sitting on the raised seat. So because the conception of Varnashram is, polluted now. So therefore people, they think it is for exploitation. The upper class will exploit the lower class. So Prabhupada, he said, he became silent for a few seconds and then he said, "I am fifth class, servant of everyone." So that is how all the Varnas, they are meant to support each other. It is not that only head is important and the legs are not important. The legs are also important. So therefore, this Varna and Ashram, they are meant for harmonious progression of a living entity in this material world. So in this age we are living, in this age equality is celebrated a lot. And any discrimination is condemned. Of course, unfair discrimination should be removed. But if we see rationally, inequality is a fact of life. In any class or in any setup, you will find some people who are more intelligent, some people who have more managerial skills, some people who are expert in managing finances. So it is natural, you cannot create equality everywhere. Just like in a class, if some students are above 90% and some students are barely managing to pass, and if those who are barely managing to pass, they complain that teachers are doing partiality with us. Remove this, marking system. We don't want this grading system. It creates anxiety. So what will happen if the grading system and marking system is removed from the schools? So gradually the overall percentage of the class will go down. Because if the teachers announce, okay, we will take tests, but all the students will get equal marks. Everybody will pass. So what will happen? Those who are good in their studies, they will become lethargic. They'll say, what is the use of studying now? Anyways, we are going to get pass and we are not getting any more distinctions. And those who are anyways not studying, they'll become more complacent. And they will give up studying altogether. So therefore, when this equality is imposed, the situation becomes worse. So this system of Varnashram is essential so that everybody can live peacefully and use their maximum potential. And this will bring a peaceful society, as Srila Prabhupada writes. So the question is, how this will bring a peaceful human society? So there are two types of peace. Peace in the external world, which we want, and the peace in the internal world. So the peace in the external world, that is many times not in our hand. And we get disturbed, we get anxious, because nowadays people, they are just overwhelmed by the propaganda of this branch is good and this type of profession is very glamorous. And although it may not be their nature, everybody is made unique. Nobody can become like somebody else. If somebody says, how many apples are equal to 2 oranges? So it is not possible. You cannot equate apples and oranges. Everybody is unique. So Lord has given a specific talent to every one of us, but when we don't use the talent, and we try to find what others have. It is like a gift which is given to us, and we don't open the gift only. We want to see what others have got. Unke paas kaun sa gift hai? That creates problems. That creates anxiety. And when we misuse our gifts for wrong purposes, just like one archaeologist came to Prabhupada and he was talking to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada asked, so what do you do? So he said, Swamiji, I study primitive people. Prabhupada said, what is the use of studying primitive people? We study advanced people. What will you get by studying primitive people? So when people, they use their intelligence for wrong purposes, their intellect for wrong purposes, then they don't become satisfied, they don't feel peace. So we have to understand everybody has a particular nature. Shreyan swadharmo viguna paradharma swanishtita swadharme nidhana shreya paradharmo bhayavaha, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. It is better to discharge one's own duty even though faultily, rather than practicing another's duty perfectly. So it is very, very important to understand that this Varnashram system, it is made according to the psychophysical nature a person has. As it is said by Chaitanya Charan Prabhu nicely, what is the Varnashram system? From your place, at your pace, join the race to receive the grace. So that is Varnashram system. Wherever you are, whatever capacity, whatever psychophysical nature you have, try to use it and try to connect to the Lord. Otherwise, there will be chaos. There will be chaos in the external world and there will be chaos in the internal world also. More important than the peace of the external world, which is not in our hand. The peace of internal world is in our hand. Because till the time we are dependent on the externals to give us happiness and peace, we will always be miserable, will be anxiety, always. But if we understand that the more we go deeper and connect to the Lord who is within our heart by the process of devotional service, then whatever may happen in the external world, one will become fearless. One time, one person was asking Prabhupada, Swamiji, when you chant Hare Krishna, how do you feel? When some people ask sometimes, how do you feel? We may say we feel peaceful, we feel connected to the Lord, we feel confident. Srila Prabhupada used a very wonderful word. He answered in a beautiful way. He said, I feel fearless. Because I know that Krishna is in control. Whatever is happening in my life, Supreme Lord is in control and He is orchestrating all the activities of my life. And then only sashantim adhigacchati, that person can attain real peace. So therefore it is not about the absence of the external problems. The wars will be there, disasters will be there. But the more we are connected to the Lord who is within us, by focusing on the practice of spiritual life and specifically devotional service. That's the purpose of Varnashram. Varnashrama acharavata purushena parappaman Vishnu aradhyate pantha nanyat tattosha karanam. The process of Varnashram is ultimately meant for connecting to the Supreme Lord. Vishnu aradhyate pantha. And by the grace of Srila Prabhupada, this process of Vishnu Aradhana is given to us directly, bypassing all the other paths of Varnashrams. The direct path of devotional service is given to us. Wherever we may be, whatever our Varna or Ashrama may be. Of course, in Kali Yuga, it is very difficult to find what is the Varna and what is the Varna of a person, who is a Brahman, who is a Kshatriya. If somebody says, I am a Kshatriya because I like to fight, that is not the qualification of Kshatriya. So it is very difficult to understand. But by the practice of devotional service, anybody can achieve perfection. There are two types of peace. Peace of mind and peace of heart. So peace of mind, it is very difficult to achieve and to maintain. One message is sufficient to disturb the peace of mind. Something goes wrong and we get disturbed. It's like somebody was telling this story some time back that there was a businessman and he saw his factory burning. He received a call that your factory is burning. He started crying. And then after a few minutes his son calls and says, don't worry father, yesterday only we have sold the factory. He started laughing, oh good, you have done a wonderful job. Then the secretary calls after a few minutes, says, "Sir, the deal was rejected by the party." Again started crying. Then after a few minutes, the company manager calls, supervisor, he says, "Sir, don't worry, we have our insurance in place, we'll get compensation." He again starts laughing. After some time, the assistant of the supervisor calls and says, "Sir, we forgot to file the insurance this year." Again he started crying. So that's how, this peace of mind is very, very superficial, fragile. Mind is disturbed by desires or by distress. The desires, they keep on troubling us. So first, to make the mind peaceful, we have to learn to manage our desires. Desires keep nagging us, keep troubling us. Ashanam hi manushyanam kasyadaschare shrinkhala baddha sarva pradhavanti mukta tishtati panguvat. The chain of desires is such a wonderful chain. A person who is bound by the chain of desires runs everywhere. And the person who is free of the chain of desires sits at one place peacefully. And the classic example of the desire, the person who has desires, is Dhritarashtra. Andha purayeva badhuro manda pragyasya sampratam vishirna danta mandagni saragam kafamudvahan. Vidurji comes and gives strong chastisement to Dhritarashtra. What are you doing? Already you are blind. Now you have become deaf also. You can't digest. When you breathe, all the ragas are coming out. You are coughing. Aho mahiyasi janto jivitasha yatha bhavan. Just see the desire of a living entity to enjoy. Bhima pavarjitam pindam madatte grihapalavat. Bhima comes and he throws some food in front of you and you are eating that and you are satisfied. The desire never goes. The desire is the cause of the material universe. There are many descriptions of Virata Rupa described in 2nd and 3rd canto. One of the description describes that the desire of a living entity is the cause of this material universe. So how to solve this problem of desires? First, you have to adjust our expectations from ourselves. And then accept the situation we are in. Then the mind can be little peaceful. And when the distress comes in life, then also mind becomes disturbed. So this acceptance is very, very important principle. Acceptance makes the mind peaceful. That means when we accept the situation we are in, we become more and more disturbed. When we keep on asking why this is happening to me, why I am like this, why I am not able to practice devotional service peacefully, why I have so many anarthas, all these things make us disturbed. But the acceptance makes one peaceful. Just like Gaur Vilas Prabhu was once telling beautiful statements. He said, when we accept people, we have good relationships. When we accept time, the time we are going through, we can have a peaceful mind. When we accept the place we are living in, we can be comfortable. And when we accept the situation, we can live without anxiety. So the acceptance is very, very important. So this peace of mind, although it is difficult to achieve, but we can try to become peaceful whatever way. But more important is the peace of heart. Peace of mind means relief from the anxiety. It is like going from negative to zero. But the peace of heart is having a positive experience of happiness. It is much deeper. Just like Chitraketu Maharaj, when he was cursed for just smiling at Lord Shiva, and Parvati cursed him. Chitraketu, he had the biggest disaster in his life. Now he is flying in airplane with his wives, and suddenly he is cursed to become a demon. He didn't become disturbed. He just went down, he folded his hands and he asked forgiveness from Mother Parvati and says, Guna pravaha etasmin kah shapa kah anugraha kah swarga narkah kova kim sukham dukkham evava. He didn't justify, he didn't give any justification, I didn't mean it. He said, Oh mother, whatever you have given, whatever curse you have given, I accept it. Because ultimately, everything is happening by the modes of nature. What is heaven? What is hell? What is auspiciousness, inauspiciousness? What is blessing? What is curse? So he accepted the situation. And how he could accept the intense, difficult situation? Because he was a devotee of the Lord. And that's what Lord Shiva tells to Mother Parvati as Chitraketu leaves. Lord Shiva tells, just see the glories of the devotees of Lord Narayan. Narayan pada sarve na kudaschana bhibhyati swarga apavraga narkeshu apitulyarth darshina. Just see the glories of the devotees of Narayana. They are always equipoised. For them, heaven, hell doesn't make any difference. So when we are in that consciousness, we are completely protected from the outside upheavals. One of the Prabhupada disciples, Shitala Mataji, she was telling that when you are with Prabhupada, Prabhupada was carrying Krishna with him. He was carrying Vrindavan with him. However disturbed one may be, when one comes in touch with Prabhupada, she was telling that you are in that little Braja bubble. And Prabhupada allowed us to enter that Braja consciousness. So everything else doesn't matter. It doesn't disturb a living entity, a devotee. As Bhagavad Gita Krishna says, Apuryamanam machala pratishtam samudramapa pravishanti yatvat. Rivers are entering ocean incessantly. But the ocean never overflows, never crosses the limits. Why? Because the ocean is deep and vast. Tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashanti mapnoti nakama kami. Similarly, the devotee is na kama kami. He is not the desirer of the desires. He doesn't desire that I want all these desires. I want all the things of the world. Shanta. His heart is full of ocean of devotion. Bhakti, rasa, amrita, sindhu. He is experiencing. So he is not disturbed by any of the other things. Ei amrita karapan yara sam nahiyan chitte kara sudrida vishwas. Na pada ko tarka garte amedya kar kashavarte yate padile hoye sarvanash. So Kaviraj Goswami says, please drink this nectar of devotion. Ei amrit karapan. There is nothing like this. Don't try to put your mind in all the other things of the world. It will only give trouble. It will only give anxiety. So the peace of heart, it is achievable by the practice of devotional service. How it is achievable? When one knows the bigger picture and the purpose behind what is happening in the life. When one knows this, the purpose, the bigger picture, when one understands that Krishna is orchestrating my life. Nothing happens in the life of a devotee without the sanction of the Lord. Directly, of course, nothing happens everywhere, anywhere without the sanction of the Lord. But especially for a devotee, Krishna personally interferes. So this is the most important knowledge we need to cultivate. The knowledge of devotional service. As Krishna describes in Bhagavad Gita, this knowledge, it is most purifying. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate. There is nothing more purifying than this knowledge. And one who gets this knowledge, kalena atmani vindati, he enjoys within. So Prabhupada writes a very beautiful purport in that verse. He says, this knowledge is the mature fruit of devotional service. And when one is situated in transcendental knowledge, he need not search for peace elsewhere. For he enjoys peace within himself. In other words, this knowledge and peace culminate in Krishna consciousness. So the more we practice this path of bhakti with determination, the mind becomes steady. Just like in the pond, if there is so much of disturbance, we can't see the bottom. So when we are disturbed, we can't see the presence of the Lord in the heart who is there inside. We can't experience. But by this process of devotional service, the mind becomes peaceful, the heart becomes peaceful, and then we can experience the presence of the Lord. Shraddhavan labate jnanam tatpara samyatendriya jnanam labdhva param shantim achirenadi gacchati. Jnanam labdhva param shantim. One achieves the peace. That is a peace of heart. So a devotee, he is not under the control of karma. He is under the control of Krishna. In this verse, Tattenu Kampa Susamikshamano, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes a very, very beautiful purport. He says that devotee understands that the happiness and the distress that he experiences is because of two things. Because of performing of bhakti, one experiences joy, and because one commits aparadh, he experiences distress. So it is like the father who punishes the child. Sometimes the father gives milk, and sometimes the father gives neem juice also, because the child is sick. So when we do some mistake, when we do aparadh, then Krishna punishes us. So Chakravarti Thakur writes there, the devotee thinks that this is the arrangement of the Lord. The Lord knows and I don't know. I don't know what is happening in my life, but Lord knows. And very clearly says the karma and the time have no effect on the devotee. It is not about pure devotees. It is about everyone who has developed pure faith. So the more we absorb ourselves in Krishna consciousness, the more Lord reciprocates. Yat pada pankaja palasa vilasa bhaktya karma shrayam grathitam udgrathayanti santaha tadvannarikta matayo yatayo piruddha shroto ganastamaranam bhajavasudevam. Yat pada pankaja palasha vilas. The more we delight in Krishna consciousness, vilas means delight. The more we delight in the pastimes of the Lord, the more we delight in serving the Lord, karma shayam, all the material desires, grathitam, which are like hard knot, udgrathayanti, they are uprooted. And when we delight in Krishna consciousness, then what happens? Prabhupada writes beautiful. He quotes a verse, how different species, they take care of their offsprings. Fish takes care of the offsprings just by looking at them, the eggs. Tortoise takes care of the offsprings, the eggs, just by meditating on them. And the birds, they take care of their offsprings by their touch. They sit on the eggs. Darshan dhyana samsparashair matsa kurma vihangamai swanya patyani pushnanti tatha aham api padmaja. So Lord is telling himself this statement. Just like different species, they take care of their offsprings in different ways, I also take care of my devotees in a special way. Sometimes I glance at them, sometimes I meditate on them, sometimes I give my personal touch to them. So that's how we have to understand, when we are meditating on the Lord also meditates on us. So if we want the mercy of the Lord, we should allow the Lord to show mercy on us. And how can we allow the Lord to show mercy on us? By meditating on the Lord. Just like when the patient goes to a doctor, the doctor expects that the patient will cooperate. So similarly, when we are thinking of the Lord becomes more and more happy, and he is more and more enlivened to help us. Till the time Gajendra was not calling out to the Lord, fighting for 1,000 years, Krishna was not doing anything. But as soon as Gajendra, he picked up that lotus from that pond, that Ganga, and offered to the Lord, offered beautiful prayers. Madrik prapanna pashupasha vimokshanaya muktaya bhuri karunaya namolayaya. Oh my Lord, you are muktaya, please liberate me. You are always merciful, you are never lazy. You are always alert. Alayaya. The Lord immediately ran to save Gajendra. Till the time Draupadi was not calling out to the Lord. She was asking help from all the other people, from Pandavas, from Bhishma, from Dhritarashtra, holding on to the sari by her own self. Krishna was not there. He was waiting. Agre kuruna matha pandavanam dushyasanena ritavastrakesha Krishna tadakrosha dhananyanatha govinda damodara madhaveti. Till the time Draupadi was not raising her hands and calling out to Krishna, Krishna didn't come. So when we pray to Krishna, we allow Krishna to help us. And sometimes we can't figure out what is happening in my life, why this is happening, but still, when we know that the person who is in charge is my well-wisher, whatever is happening, he will be there to help me, then one can become peaceful. Externally, chaos may be there. Internally, one will be peaceful, because I know the person in charge of all these things is my well-wisher. He is my biggest well-wisher. He knows me, and he knows how I can be benefited the best. Just like when Nityanand Prabhu, he and all the devotees were going to Jagannath Puri, and Shivananda Sen was in charge of accommodation and travel and everything. So Nityanand Prabhu asked, where is my room? So there was some delay. So Nityanand Prabhu, in his usual style, he became angry and he hit Shivananda Sen on his chest. So Shivananda Sen was happy getting the mercy of the Lord. Shrikanta Sen became disturbed. He became disturbed. And he went ahead, he wanted to complain to Mahaprabhu. What do you think? What does Nityananda Prabhu think of himself? My uncle is also associate of Lord Chaitanya. He goes in front of Mahaprabhu, and without even removing his upper cloth, that is a tradition. One cannot offer obeisances to the Lord with the upper garments. That's still there in some of the South Indian temples. So Govinda, he sees that Shrikanta Sen is offering obeisances without removing the upper cloth. Petangi gaye kore dandavat namaskar, Govind kahe Shrikanta ke petangi utar. So Govinda says, remove your upper cloth first. So Mahaprabhu, he sees, he understands what is happening. Prabhu kahe Shrikant asiya che paiya mano dukh, kichuna baliha karuha yate ihara sukh. So Mahaprabhu tells Govinda, Shrikant is distressed in his heart. Please don't say anything. Let him do whatever he wants. So when Shrikant Sen, he heard that Dukkha Paya Asiyache, when he heard that Mahaprabhu knows my heart, he knows my situation, he didn't complain about Nityananda Prabhu. He gave all the other news. He didn't say anything about Nityananda Prabhu, because he knows Lord is in control, he knows my situation, so he will do the needful. So we should always remember when Krishna says Suridam Sarva Bhutanam, he is actually Suridam. As Srila Prabhupada, he tells in one of the lectures, there are three types of friends: Mitra, Bandhu, and Surid. Mitra means official friendship. Bandhu means family friend, relatives. Surid is our real well-wisher. So Krishna says, I am Suridam Sarva Bhutanam. So we can't understand how the Lord is working, why this is happening to me. Because nobody can understand how Lord is working. Even Bhishma tells Pandavas, nobody can understand. Nahi asya karhichit rajan puman ved viditsitam yad vijigyasaya yukta muhyanti kavayopihi. Even great learned souls are bewildered how Lord is working. So a devotee, he understands, okay, the Lord is in control. He is my real well-wisher. So definitely things will be good. Whatever is happening, I may not be able to perceive it right, but Krishna is in control. The more we remember Krishna, the more we practice devotional service, this is the intelligence which Krishna gives. Mahavipattau samsare yasmaret madhusudana vipattau tasya sampatti bhavet ityaha shankara. The more we remember Krishna, our vipatti becomes our sampatti. We can advance in our problems more. So that's how a devotee becomes peaceful. And by the practice of devotional service, one can live peacefully and die peacefully. We can plan everything in our life. Can we plan our death? Can we say, when I die, you play mridanga, you play kartal, you sing this tune, you don't sing nicely. Lord will plan for us. Anayasena maranam vina dainyena jivanam anaradhita govinda charanasya katham bhavet. So this Jagannath Mishra is telling to Mother Shachi that anayasena maranam vina dainyena jivanam. Unless one worships the Lord, one cannot live peacefully and one cannot die peacefully. So Krishna orchestrates the life of a devotee and orchestrates the death of a devotee also. So that's how we can be peaceful in this human society by practicing devotional service. So I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.